As we saw in the last chapter, King Shantanu prevented goddess Ganga from killing his son by carrying out his duty as a father. Then the goddess Janvi explained to him why his sons had been killed, that these 8 sons of Ganga were in fact Vasus. Ganga and his son leave Shantanu after sharing their story. Shantanu feels as though his entire world has fallen apart once Janvi departs. He believed his life had no purpose. It's as though the physical body is all that remains after the soul has left. However, he did not allow his sorrows to cast a shadow over his fellow citizens, since he was a righteous man. Such was the greatness of King Shantanu. Since the king acts as both their father and protector, the subjects will become orphans if the king himself goes astray. This is why I say he had my knowledge, since Shantanu fulfilled this obligation of his. Because of his devotion, his subjects were happy and believed that they should follow in his footsteps. As the saying goes, as is the king, so are the subjects. As a result, they began to follow my example and did not lie, harm, or cheat anyone. Everyone complied with the Dharma and the law of the country. Similarly, after 36 years of ruling like a celibate, King Shantanu was following a fierce animal to kill it, when he came over the banks of the Ganga, and his mind thought of Ganga. However, he noticed that the river had hardly little water remaining. He was taken aback by this, wondering how the Ganga, a river that flows swiftly and is constantly full of water, could have seen such a drastic drop in water level today. He then noticed that a young boy had been practicing divine weapons, and with the force of his weapons, he stopped the flow of the river. King Shantanu was taken aback by the boy's action, and the boy vanished after that. The king thought that perhaps this young boy was his son, whom Ganga had pledged to teach. However, he was unable to affirm this with certainty because so many years had gone by since then. For this reason, he asked Ganga to introduce him to his son. The young boy and goddess Bhagirathi then emerged from the middle of the river. King Shantanu was momentarily blind to the fact that the goddess Ganga was his wife due to her exceptional beauty. The goddess then shattered his delusion, saying, "O king, he is Gange, the one who has pierced my bosom. Remember, he is your son and mine. O best among the Kurus, I have kept my word. This boy is not only well versed in the divine weapons, he is also well versed in political science, scriptures, history, geography, and various sciences. He has contained all the wisdom that can be contained in him. The Guru of the Devas, Brihaspati, the son of Jamadagni Parshuram, sage Vasishta, and sage Shukracharya, have all been his gurus. He is your deserving heir. Take him with you to Hastinapur. I now give you what belongs to you." After saying this, the goddess vanishes, and Shantanu and his son return to Hastinapur. When both of them arrive in Hastinapur, the citizens and the royal courtiers are astounded by the brilliance of Ganga's sun, which is comparable to that of Lord Surya. The royal priests objected when King Shantanu named Gange the crowned prince, but the great son of Ganga won everyone over with his wisdom and virtues, proving that he was the rightful crown prince of Hastinapur. As a result, 4 more years went by with great happiness. Then destiny had its way. King Shantanu once arrived at the Yamuna river's bank. It was a dense forest where the monarch was wandering. As he wandered about, he noticed a lovely scent. Then Shantanu noticed a Malhar's daughter as he chased after the delightful scent. Those who rowed boats and transported passengers over the river were known as Malhars or the Nishadas. The girl had the appearance of a goddess. Shantanu greeted her, saying, "O beautiful one, who are you? Whose daughter are you? And why are you in this dense forest?" Dashraj's daughter responded to this by saying, O king, I am the daughter of the king of the Nishadas. As directed by my father, I row the boat. Her beauty, her sweetness, and her smell captivated King Shantanu, who made the decision to marry her. He went to Nishadraj to request his daughter's hand in marriage after making up his mind. Upon hearing Shantanu's request, Dashraj addressed the king, saying, O great king of the Puru lineage, I have been concerned about this lovely and affluent girl's marriage ever since she has entered my life. I want to trust this lovely girl in the capable hands of a wonderful husband. Dear King of Hastinapur, this is what I really desire. You are honest and moral. Nowhere else will I find a groom like you. For this reason, you ought to commit. But Dashraj was apprehensive when he had to state the vow the king was required to take. The sage like king then said, O Nishadraj, tell me about your condition, please. I will take the pledge if it's worth taking. If it's not so, then I can never take it. Let's pause the story here and consider my definition. Shantanu followed me exactly in this instance. He considered the impending crisis and refrained from making any promises hastily. Unlike King Dasharath, who gave Kaikai two boons that ultimately led to his demise. For this reason, one should consider their words carefully before making any promises. Now, let's return to the story. Responding to Shantanu's words, Nishad Raj put forward his point and said, O kind king, you will have to take a pledge that the son born to my daughter will become the next king of Hastinapur. As I said, King Shantanu had my knowledge. Though the fire of lustful desires was burning in his heart, he did not let his desires overpower him, and returned to Hastinapur after declining Dashraj's conditions. However, the failure to acquire the Nishad girl made the king unhappy. Sadness began to consume him gradually. Devavrat once questioned his anxious father. Why are you worried at such a pleasant moment, father? Look, you have your heir with you, your subjects are pleased, and everything is going well for you. So why are you worried? The anxiety doesn't fit you, because you are in charge of all the rulers in this globe. Your face has gone pale because you are so depressed that you haven't met me or gone hunting. Tell me why you are worried. Please tell me the reason of your worries. I'll eliminate that reason. Being your son, it is my duty to reduce your anxieties. Regarding this, Shantanu remarked, I have definitely been burdened with worry, son. Let me tell you why I am so concerned. So pay attention, O Hastinapur's future monarch. My only heir is you. Since my blood runs through your veins, you are always working to protect the citizens with weapons just like me. Because of this, I am extremely concerned that if something were to happen to you, then the Kuru dynasty would end then and there. But I also have to accept that you are superior to hundreds of sons, and I do not wish to get married again for nothing, but rather to protect the dynasty. This is the cause of my concern. Devavrat and his senior ministers arrived at Nishadraj's residence after learning the cause of his father's concern. Now, before we proceed, we must understand that the king violated the code of conduct at this time by prioritizing his materialistic desires over Dharma. Devavrat was the best and most worthy prince there could have been. Now, how did King Shantanu transgress Dharma then? Knowing that Devavrat would undoubtedly resign his position as his father's crown prince if he learned the true cause of his concern. He told him the reason. He considered one's birth to be greater than one's deed, and what deeds can one do for someone who is yet to be born on this earth? Here, Shantanu turned self-centered, and as a result, Maharaj Shantanu disobeyed Dharma by depriving the kingdom of a great prince. We now arrive at the location where Devavrat is about to take a new birth. where you'll see a completely different version of him. He arrived at Nishad Raj's house with the senior ministers after learning from the royal officials that his father intended to wed Dashraj's daughter Satyavati. When Devavrat arrived, he requested Satyavati's hand in marriage for his father. However, Dashraj said, "O prince, let me first give you my respect." After giving him a great deal of honor, he explained his position to everyone and said, "O magnificent prince, the Maharaj must guarantee that the child born to my daughter will control the kingdom of Hastinapur if he wishes to marry her." Dashraj continued after saying this, "O prince, to me this girl is an inheritance. This girl is the daughter of a courageous king like you. He once told me that I should marry his daughter to King Shantanu, and I promised him that I would. However, because I raised her, she is also like my daughter. So, as a father, I am concerned about her welfare. The only problem with her marriage is that the son she will have an invincible enemy like you. So, his death is certain. For this reason, I requested the king to make such a pledge." Devavrat became speechless upon hearing this, believing that he was the cause of his father's sufferings. Devavrat thus committed to easing his father's suffering, saying, "O ruler of the Nishadas, because what I am about to say has never been stated by a human being and never will be said, so pay attention to my sincere vow and accept it. I vow that Hastinapur's next king shall only be the son of Mother Satyavati. I renounce the throne." Even then, Nishad Raj was not content and addressed Devavrat saying, "O prince who crushes his adversaries, I am confident that you will honor the commitment you made. Like your father, you too are a virtuous man. But your children may start causing problems for my grandchild." Hearing this, Devavrat took another vow and said, "O Kshatriyas, O Devas, O all the planets and stars, I, son of Ganga Devavrat, taking all the 10 directions, earth and sky as witnesses, today take this terrible oath that I shall remain childless for life. O Dashraj, I take this vow that I will remain celibate for life. I will not marry for the rest of my life. I will live without children and will die without children. This is my unbroken and terrible oath." Lightning struck the sky after he made such a terrible pledge. All the Devas, sages, Apsaras, and Gandharvas appeared in the sky upon hearing his vow. They bowed to him, showered him with flowers, and exclaimed, "Blessed are you! Bhishma will be the name of the person who makes this awful vow. Indeed, he deserves to be referred to as Bhishma." When Dashraj heard Bhishma's vow, he was rendered speechless and got goosebumps. He then declared, "I give my daughter to the king." Then Bhishma addressed Satyavati saying, "O mother, sit on the chariot, please. Your home is calling." And they both sat in the chariot and went back to Hastinapur. It's time for us to find why Devavrat, also known as Bhishma, was showered with flowers by all the holy men and given the name Bhishma. When the creator of the world created life, it also established the time of death, because according to the law of the universe, whoever is born will die. For this reason, it created sex to keep the world going, which allows creatures to engage in sexual relations and produce creatures that are similar to themselves. That is why each individual finds it extremely difficult to control their lustful desires, because nature wants them to have sex, have physical relations with someone, and have children. The person who controls their lust not only gets connected to God, but also becomes great, because as they have transcended the law of nature. For this reason, Devavrat was given the name Bhishma, and his name will always be respected in history as a result of his taking this vow. When King Shantanu learned of his son's horrible pledge, he addressed Bhishma, saying, O my virtuous and innocent son, I grant you the blessing of death whenever you desire it. The shadow of death will not even attempt to approach you without your consent. We will learn in the upcoming chapter how King Shantanu would have two sons from Satyavati named Chitrangad and Vichitravirya, as well as the circumstances surrounding their marriage and the birth of Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidur, which will be the starting point for the Mahabharata's plot. Like, share, and subscribe if you like our videos. Please also comment on the video and express your thoughts and questions.